So, the big question is this: how are ambitious people like us, who don't have a lot of resources, did not go to Ivy League colleges, were not born into wealth, how do we become resourceful enough, use our creativity, our dedication, and a little bit of crazy to bootstrap our way to realizing our dreams? Whether it is launching a new company, launching a new app, or making it to the top of the corporate ladder. That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Please like, share, and subscribe to get new episodes, videos, and other updates. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on this new episode of Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. The title of today's interview is Bootstrapping a Business: Tips, Tricks, and Secrets with Rob Palmer. He will reveal how every entrepreneur can bootstrap a business and generate wealth. I'm your host, Manuj Aggarwal, and today we will be talking about our favorite topic, which is bootstrapping a business, with entrepreneur and business expert Rob Palmer. Welcome, Rob.
Hi, Manuj. It's really great to be here. Looking forward to doing the show.
Yeah, we are excited to learn about bootstrapping for sure. All right, to get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your experience in the field of business and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I can. So I actually started out as a journalist, so I didn't have any intention of going to business originally. But after doing that for a year or two, I got involved in kind of more like marketing advertising projects, and I found that to be a lot more interesting. And once I started getting involved in business, I realized that it's actually fun to bootstrap a business and to start your own empire from nothing and build it up is really interesting and enjoyable thing to do. So I started doing that way back in the 1980s, and I've been doing it ever since. So I've started from zero several times and built up several businesses, and I've sold some, and other things have happened. So I've had a lot of experiences, and I still enjoy doing what I do, and hope to do it for many more years to come.
Awesome, that's great. So, can you tell us about your early experiences, early successes and struggles in bootstrapping your business, and also tell us, what your focus is, like, which field do you focus on, or is it a diverse field that you have interested in?
Okay, so when I started my first business, my only investment, the only money I had to invest was £1 for a bus fare. This was when I was living in the UK. So £1 was about $1.50, and I used that to go and meet to pay for my bus fare to meet my first client, and luckily the client gave me some work. Wow. And that I was then able to reinvest in some more marketing and build up my business. So I have bootstrapped a business from a £1 investment, so I know you can do it. You don't need to have a huge amount of money. Of course, it's much easier if you do have a bit of capital to get you going, but whatever you have, whatever assets you have, you can use that to get yourself started. And today, it's so much easier than it was when I started. We have, with the internet and all the amazing tools and communication options we have, you can reach the whole world. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity now for almost anybody can start a business and do really well.
That's for sure. So obviously, that was quite a lucky break to get your first client on your first sort of lead. But can you tell us also about some of the struggles that you may have had, which many people go through when they are on their entrepreneurial journeys?
Yeah, it's always up and down. I think sometimes you have perhaps a problem with confidence. You always think that people who have been older than you, perhaps, or have been doing it longer, know much more, and you feel like, oh, I'm not the expert, these guys are. But the fact is, we all have our own experience of life. We all have something to bring, and wherever you are, you should just be prepared to go ahead full steam and make the most of what you have right now, whatever that may be, and use that to forge your own path.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So now, I meet a lot of people who they have a desire to start their business. So what is, the first step that you would recommend that they take in their journey to start a new business or bootstrap a business?
Yeah, it really depends what kind of business they want to do, but I would advise people to to focus on one thing. It's very easy once you start getting into the entrepreneurial world, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. And you start off doing one project, and then maybe you watch a YouTube video or something and you think, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I should be doing that. And that takes you off in a different direction. And then you come across something else that takes you in a slightly different direction again. And you end up doing something completely different to what you started. And you're not focusing on one thing. And you end up with half a dozen projects which are all started and none of them are making any money, and you're spending money on all of them trying to get them going. You're much better off trying stay focused on one thing and if you've got one thing that's working, then just go hard on that and make it as successful as possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Now, I come across another set of business owners who have taken the first step. They have started their businesses. It's going okay, but they're still early in their journeys. One of the typical problem I hear is, where do we find clients? How do we increase our sales? So obviously you must have done something right to get your first client on your first visit. So what can you share in terms of sales and marketing, and how people can invest little but get a big bang for their buck if they're bootstrapping?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Again, it depends what your model is, but certainly if you're trying to reach a business to business audience, then LinkedIn is fantastic. I think it's very much an underrated resource, and it's amazing that you can actually reach the key decision makers in big organizations, and you can get to them directly through LinkedIn. So I think definitely if you get really good at that, that's a great way of reaching those people. If you're doing other kind of projects, then there is still a huge opportunity if you get really good at SEO, which really means get good at link building. Then again, that is still a fantastic way to do it. It's slower. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can do it. But I think the best advice is to price your product or your service in a way that allows you a budget for advertising. I think a big problem is people often undervalue what they have. Maybe they cut prices because they try and think, I'm just starting, I need to be competitive, I'm going to cut my price. But then they don't have enough profit margin to invest properly in advertising. So you've got platforms like Facebook. The Facebook ads platform is absolutely amazing. You can target exactly the right people, and the algorithm is so smart now, it'll actually find the right people for you. But you have to spend money. You can't do it for free. So I would go for a high value product or service and make sure you build in a decent profit margin so you have the ability to invest in marketing, and then you can really bootstrap and grow.
Okay. And now, so you mentioned LinkedIn, and you mentioned SEO and Facebook. Do you think a person can, is there enough information out there that they can do it on their own effectively? Or do you recommend that they, look at hiring some expert advice to get them going?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. Yeah, certainly, I think to get yourself started, if you're bootstrapping, you're on a budget, then it's one of the things, the great things about starting a business now is there's so much information out there. You can just go to YouTube. Let's say you wanted to learn Facebook ads. You just go to YouTube and do a search, and you can get a ton of really useful, valuable information. And then if you spend just a small amount on courses on Udemy or Skillshare, for something like $10, $20, you can take a course which will take you a little bit further. And that's enough to get you started, and you can just get things going. But once you have you're making a success of it, it's profitable, then you could probably increase your success by reinvesting some of your profits into hiring an expert who can take it to the next level. So yeah, you can start small and scale up and bring in experts when you need to.
Awesome. All right, let's try to go back to your the start of your journey. What is one tip or advice that you wish somebody gave you when you were bootstrapping your first business?
I wish I'd known that anybody can start a business. It's difficult to when you're the new guy, you see all these kind of successful businesses around you, and you assume they've got all this money and expertise. So yeah, I wish I'd had more confidence to leap in feet first. And again, I think especially nowadays, it's really so much easier to start a business that there's no barriers. So I think if you're thinking about starting a business, and even if you are on a tight budget and you need to bootstrap, just be aware that yes, you can do it. You shouldn't let that kind of fear hold you back, because we all have that kind of fear of the unknown. And the only way to get over that is to take the first step. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can take small steps. You can start a business as a side hustle. So maybe do a little bit of freelance work and dip your toe in the water that way.
Sure.
So yeah, the main thing is just to decide, yes, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. And you take the first step towards making it happen, and then the next step, and then the next step. And you'll cover a lot of ground that way.
Okay. Now, did you lose some time? Did you hesitate? When you were thinking about starting a business, and is that why you regret that?
Well, I certainly missed opportunities. That looking back now, I can see that if I'd taken some of the opportunities which came to me at the time, I could have been very successful with them, and I let those slip by. But there are always more opportunities than we could ever make the most of. But you need to keep your eyes open, and if you see an opportunity that's a really good fit for you, don't let a lack of confidence stop you from doing it. Just take a close look at it, and if you think you have the abilities to make it work, then just go for it.
Yeah, and in the same tone, it's never too late either. Like, even if some people have been putting it off, it's never too late. They can start at any time, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 58 now, and I'm still starting new businesses. So I intend to be doing so for the next 20, 30 years.
Awesome.
So look at Warren Buffett. He's 89 years old now, I think, coming to 89. So you can be 90 years old and still running a very successful business. So no, definitely never too late for anybody. There's now is always the best time.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So besides somebody, giving you this advice, what is something that you have discovered in your journey that you thought, it's sort of a discovery that you made, or misconception that you had, or something that you discovered through your journey that may be useful for entrepreneurs?
So what I've found is that we all have a unique voice, and that's something that perhaps you don't appreciate. We kind of think that we're pretty much the same as everyone else, whereas in reality, we've all have a totally different experience of life. No one else has experienced the world in the same way you have and formed the same views. So that gives you a unique perspective, even if you're competing in a market where there are already a lot of competitors. Although other people might have a similar product or service, they can never have your exact worldview and your expertise and your ideas. So always be aware that you can use that unique perspective to make your business a little bit different, so you stand out and you give yourself a little bit of an edge. And there will be some customers who are a good fit for what you have, that the other competitors are not such a great fit, but you are, yeah, this is exactly who I want to work with.
Yeah.
So you can find those people.
A lot of people shy away just because they see that there is competition, or there's somebody else doing the same thing, but they don't realize there are hundreds of brands of cars, of shirts, everything that we buy, and they're all thriving because of some differentiation, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, competition, in fact, is a good thing. If for a lot of competitors, it means they're making money. There's money in that market. A lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of trying to find the gap in the market. They're trying to find a little area where there are no competitors. But usually, if there are no competitors, it means there's no money, there's no demand, and nobody wants what you're offering. So I mean, occasionally someone's going to come along, like Apple with the iPhone, and create something totally new, and everybody we didn't know we wanted smartphones until Apple created the iPhone. So that there was a demand there, but in vast majority of cases, if there's nobody in that market, it's probably because there's no buyers, there's no demand. So yeah, you should not be afraid to go into competitive markets and just find your little niche. If it's almost every market is bigger than you can imagine, and you just need a tiny slice of it to build a successful business.
Especially these days, as you said, with access to the internet, you can get clients internationally. I mean, there are no boundaries left anymore, right?
No, so there are now 5 billion smartphones in the world, and nearly all of those are connected to the internet. I just think how amazing that is. If you said to someone 20 years ago, oh, one day you'll be able to sell to 5 billion people all over the planet, wherever they are, whether on the bus or the train or wherever they're doing, you can sell them stuff. And you was like, no, that's too, that will never happen. And here it is. We got these. We all walk around with our phones, and if you go on Facebook and an ad can pop up, and you might find you spent $1,000 on a product or something. So we have the opportunity to be the person selling the product or the service. So it's a fantastic opportunity that no previous generation has ever had, and we should definitely appreciate that.
For sure. All right. So let's talk. So you said that you have, built several businesses and sold a few. So can you tell us some of your biggest successes and some of your biggest failures, or things that you regretted that you could have done better?
Yeah. Okay. So I was a freelancer for a number of years in the UK, and that's fine. But looking back, I would have, if I was doing it again, I would turn that into an agency rather than stay as a one-man freelancer. So I did that, but I still had an interesting career doing that. And then when the internet came along, I started my first online business, and that grew into a kind of multi-million-dollar business. So that was really interesting. And the great thing about that was it gave me the opportunity to live anywhere. Previously, I'd been tied to London. I had all my clients were in London. Now, all of a sudden, I had this online business. I could live anywhere. So I actually emigrated from the UK to Australia with my family. I think we became the world's first digital nomad family, and I've been traveling there ever since. So nowadays, I'm based in Thailand, and I love this life where I have my online business, and it doesn't matter where I am. Right now, I'm in a hotel, and I'm still able to do this call, and wherever I am, I can carry on running my business and see the world and do all kinds of cool things.
That's
So.
awesome.
Yeah, it's the world has changed a lot, and in terms of technology and how it helps business, it's all for the better.
Awesome. That's great. All right. Now, let's share some secrets. Is there any secret formula or advice that you can share with the audience today that other people may hesitate to share it? Something that you have gained through your experience in the field of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so we talked about focus, and I think it's really important to try to work on productivity, because although this technology we have is fantastic, it can also be a problem, and it can be a distraction. It's so easy to maybe you think you need to research some information, so you Google something, and you're watching a YouTube video, and then you see a related video as 6 funny cat videos. So next thing you know, you're watching a funny cat video, and you've completely become distracted from work. And of course, with Facebook and everything else, it's so easy to get distracted. So I think a lot of time is lost through that kind of lack of productivity. So we do need to manage that problem. And so I try to, if I come across a YouTube video I want to watch, I put it on a list of things I'll watch. I don't allow myself to watch anything until 6 p.m. when I finish work, and then I can watch that kind of stuff. So you need that kind of self-discipline to keep yourself productive and getting things done.
For sure. Now, are there any tools, or just like you mentioned, you make a list of things to do, and you do that after 6. Are there any other tools or resources that you use to manage your time better?
Yeah, well, I certainly use Google Keep. I find, in fact, the whole Google system with Google Calendar and Keep and tasks, I find really useful. And of course, it's all free as well, which is a bonus, and it's all in the cloud. So, and the cloud tools are getting better and better. I use Trello for project management. That's really useful for brainstorming ideas and for managing progression of projects. I also like Streak CRM.
Mhm.
for which actually I love that one because it actually works inside your Gmail. So whereas other CRMs send you off to their kind of website or their app to do what you need to do, with Streak you do it all inside Gmail, which makes it easy to manage. So it's great for things like doing these kind of interviews and things where you need to keep on track of what's going on and who you're contacting and who you need to follow up with. So I find that a very useful tool. Plus things like Zoom we're using here to do this call,
For sure.
and uh, or Slack is a really good tool.
Cool.
So yeah, there are lots, and there are more and more all the times.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean that's another challenge. Like there are so many tools. I wish there was one tool that could do everything.
Yeah, I think there is a need for that. I think that will be, and perhaps the next generation, there will be some tools which enable this kind of remote working and integrate everything. So rather than having 10 different apps going on, you've got one more integrated option.
Exactly.
But we shall
Anybody
see.
anybody listening there, right there, there's an idea for a business.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity. Yeah, it's going to be for someone that's going to be a big business. Yeah.
Exactly. So now, do you work as a solo entrepreneur or do you have a team?
I do both. I work with my son is also an online marketer, so we work together on some projects. So that's really great. He's also a digital nomad, so we're both traveling and we meet up in different parts of the world and work on projects. And I also have my own projects as well, and I have some like a virtual team that work with me on different things. And yeah, I love the fact that I can have this team, and it's great now that you can work with people anywhere in the world, which means you can draw on the best talent.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be, if you have a physical office and all your employees are in that office, you can only hire people who are within about an hour's drive of the
Yeah,
office.
for
But
sure.
now we have the ability. You can find the best person if you need some kind of specialist WordPress PHP programmer. You
Yeah,
can find the person who understands what you need and will get the job done.
exactly.
So it's great. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah,
really
I
open
mean,
up.
ability to hire freelancers online has enabled me to bootstrap my business. I mean, that was
Mm,
one reason why I was able to do that as well. So I
yeah.
completely agree with that. All right. Lots of good advice. Is there anything else that I may not have asked you about bootstrapping businesses?
So yeah, I think the main thing is that you just need to make a start. As my experience is that kind of fear of getting started.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people as I travel around the world, and when I tell them what I'm doing, they love this kind of digital nomad lifestyle, and they're I'd love to do that, but I've no idea how to do it.
Exactly.
But then even you kind of help them get started, but they're I don't know. I have to pay the mortgage, and it's a big risk. And so I would say you can definitely do it. You don't have to leap in feet first. You can start a business as a side hustle, which is how I got started,
Yeah.
and you can maybe make a little bit of money that way and build things up on the side. And once you reach a point where you're making decent money, then you can maybe quit your job and build your business. So and there are multiple ways to do this. It's not a right way and a wrong way. I meet people creating all kinds of businesses in niches that I would never have thought could be a business. And you think, what, really? You're making money doing that? I would never have thought it. So and the market, the global market, is way bigger than you can imagine. It is. I still find it hard to get my head around how big the the population is that we can reach and how big that opportunity is.
That's for sure.
So yeah, if you can find your little niche and go for it, you can do very well.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Again, thanks a lot for sharing all this advice and your wisdom and experience with the audience. I'm sure everyone in the audience got a lot of value out of this. So thanks a lot. Now, before I let you go, can you tell us a little bit about your company, your services, and how do you work with the entrepreneurs or businesses?
Yeah, so as I said, over the last few years, I found that more and more people have been asking me, how do you do this digital nomading? How do you start an online business and work from anywhere? It sounds amazing. What do I do? So people started asking me, do you do any coaching? Can you help me with this? And initially I was saying, oh, no, I don't do that. But then I started realizing, well, actually now there's like 20 people have asked me about this. Maybe I should be doing it.
Yes.
So I've actually now started helping people with some kind of coaching and mentoring to get them started with on their kind of online business journey. So I do that through my website, gofreelance.com. So if anybody has got any questions, they can go to Go Freelance and contact me through there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions and give some advice. But I find it really interesting to work with all these budding entrepreneurs, these bootstrappers who have a vision and they want to make it happen. And I love the fact that you can create so much positive change in the world. Let's say you create a course, for example, and that course then can help people improve their health or find a partner or find a new job, whatever it may be, and you're actually creating these waves of positive change throughout the world, which is a really cool thing to do. So I'm enjoying being part of that.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, we are trying to bring new talent and new methods to solve problems in the world which did not exist before. So that's definitely moving humanity forward. Thank you so much, Rob. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and thanks a lot for coming on to the show and sharing your experience. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Manuj. I really enjoyed it. It's really interesting, and hope it comes out well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
So again, I'm Manuj Aggarwal, and thanks a lot for joining us on Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. And now, if you are an existing or an aspiring technology entrepreneur, then I invite you to check out my new online workshop, Bootstrapping Your Tech Startup Dreams. Go to go.tetranoodle.com/boot-podcast and sign up for free. I want to make sure more successful and sound decisions are made every day in your tech projects. Let's start finding solutions to your problems. So go to go.tetranoodle.com/boot-podcast, and I look forward to helping you with your tech startup.